Hello, I'm Dr. Jonathan Muir, and I'm the Director of Studies for Postgraduate Collaborative and Distance Learning Programmes here at the Bradford School of Management. Today, I'll be talking to one of our students about their experiences. Good afternoon.
Hi, I'm Catherine Davidson. I currently work as the Marketing Manager for Mass Group Limited, which is an SME manufacturer of in vitro diagnostic products. I'm currently studying on the Distance Learning MBA programme.
Okay, thinking back, what prompted your decision to study for an MBA and why a distance learning MBA?
Well, I'll answer the second part first. I chose the distance learning because when I looked at all the schools that were available, none of them were offering a part-time programme that was both within my financial remit and also geographically. I couldn't actually get to any particular university to study part-time at the time required. So I couldn't do 6 p.m. Wednesdays or 5 p.m. Wednesdays and Saturdays. So it generally had to be distance learning if I was going to be able to undertake the full range of studies. In terms of what prompted me, as a scientist, I've only ever worked within one industry. So I've only ever worked in the life science industry and clinical diagnostics industry. So I'm a microbiologist by degree, a molecular biologist by experience, and I've dabbled in both sales and marketing in the molecular diagnostic field. So my experience was very limited, and this limited my career options. And undertaking the MBA gave me the opportunity and greater flexibility to move about between industries.
Okay. What factors influenced your decision to enrol on the Bradford School of Management Distance Learning MBA?
Well, I looked at a number of schools. They were all quite close geographically, so they're all based in the north of England. So there was Aston, Leicester, well, Midlands, Durham, Liverpool, Manchester and North Wales. And I looked at a number of factors, one of which was the fees. So that ruled out a number of universities to start off with. I also looked at the prestige and the accreditation. And the University of Bradford, with being EQUIS registered and AMBA accredited, stood out. The fees were slightly more expensive, but it was always one of my top two. The other one that I was looking at was Leicester. But also geographically, it was much simpler for me to get to Bradford for exams than it was to get to Leicester. The deciding factor for me was when I actually attended an open day, and Bradford was, up until then, Bradford was my second choice. I actually came on an open day, and it was such a positive experience meeting some of the lecturers, meeting some former students, that totally changed my perspective. And after that, that was my decision made. So depending on whether or not I got an offer from all schools, which I did, that finalised my decision to choose Bradford. Another one of the reasons why I chose Bradford was because you could switch between modes of study. You could choose some of the block modules, you could come in and do some full-time study if you chose, and you could just do the distance learning. I would advise anyone, if you get the opportunity, to definitely do some of the block modules, because you get to meet students from the other two modes and you can share and exchange experiences.
And how have you coped balancing your job, your family commitments and your study time?
Family commitments is not such a big thing because I don't have any children. So that's a lot easier, and it's just me and my partner, and he works shifts, so we're always used to like being apart and not seeing each other very often. The study time and the work commitments was a bit more difficult. I manage that by being very organised. I mean, I plan my time, I have to schedule when I'm available. And that has actually impacted on how I've studied for the MBA, because there's been times when I haven't been able to take modules during a particular semester because I've had work commitments that took priority. I mean, even for instance now I have just submitted my management project. It wasn't actually due until September, but because the summer months are my busiest time, I knew I had to have it completed by the end of June. So I handed it in first couple of weeks in July, and I had to plan my time to make sure I had finished by then, because I knew for the months of July and August I just couldn't commit any time to it because I'm travelling a lot with work and like I say, general work commitments. So organisation, scheduling and planning is how I managed it.
Okay, I mean, drawing on the previous question, what strategies have you adopted when studying the various modules in terms of the reading, the study book and so on?
Well, what I tend to do is as soon as I start a module, I look at the number of chapters, the amount of work that needs to be got through for each module. I look at the assignments. I need to see how far into each module I need to be before I can start to progress on an assignment. And then I divide up my time accordingly. I divide up workload into weeks, you know, and then weeks into days. I try and plan to do at least 2 days study every night. Now, it's not possible, or 2 hours study every night. It's not possible. But at least if I do something every night, then I don't feel so bad and I know I've broken up and planned my workload.
Okay. I mean, reflecting on your experiences, how have you benefited from studying for the MBA, both on a personal and a professional basis?
In terms of the academic knowledge that I've acquired, I found that particularly the financial management, I found that I've been able to use things like payback to convince my financial director which projects to invest in, if they're ones that I'm pushing, and which ones not to. I've also learned how to streamline workload. I've also learned how to prioritise workload better. So it's made me a lot more efficient, and also I think it's made me a lot more effective.
Okay, thank you very much for your time and good to meet you.
Okay, thank you.
Cheers.
That was quick and easy.